Hey, what's happening, y'all? I was listening to the Boxing Librarian's video, and shout out to the librarian. You know, he's a good friend of mine. Of course, we can't agree on everything. We agree to disagree on some things, but he did inspire me to do this video. The reason why I want to do this because he mentioned that there aren't many informative videos nowadays in the YTBC or the whatnot in the boxing platform. So, and he's correct about that. And I have to admit that I myself have been succumbed into all the pretty much all the negativity that's going on this social platform. So I definitely got to get back to that. I'm gonna start with this video. I know I had a series going on talking about the fights that were supposed to happen, but they never happened for some odd reasons. They were like, what I mean by that is that they were signed off initially, then all of a sudden they just broke apart. But I'm gonna definitely get back into that as well. But I'm gonna start with this one called the Undisputed series. All right. Now, I know some of the people, critics who are not so opposed to a Dongo and Crawford fight, but their only question is why do you want an immediate unification fight now? Why you want it now? Why can't you be patient? Whatnot. They make it seem like we're being naive to say that we should have we demand an immediate unification bout. Well, it has happened in the past. Okay, it has happened in the last 25 years, and I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, and there's another couple more that I'm gonna videos are gonna do on that situation. All right, now, but this particular fight right here, it's pretty much one of the most forgotten fights of all time. In fact, it's a cruiserweight fight. That probably would explain why this fight's never been talked about. Um, this is a cruiserweight showdown between Jean-Marc Mormeck and O'Neal Bell. God rest his soul, R.I.P. Now, I know there's a bit of a conflicting issues with the record books on who was the last undisputed champion and whatnot. Yes, Jermaine Taylor was the last guy to hold all four unified belts. That was in 2005. But however, the last undisputed champion officially on record uh, was the winner between Jean-Marc Mormeck and O'Neal Bell, because the fight took place after that Jermaine Taylor and Bernard Hopkins fight. And what's unique about this particular fight between O'Neal Bell and Jean-Marc Mormeck is that there was another undisputed title championship on the line. Not where it was a unification situation. It was where the champion Sab Judah was headlining the card, and he was going up against Carlos Baldomir, which was an embarrassing loss for Sab. In my opinion, that was his most embarrassing loss in his career. So it was two undisputed championship fights on this card, which made this very interesting. And what's funny about that was, well, actually, what's unique about it is that Don King promoted this card. Okay, now let me get into this fight right here, leading up to it. All right, now O'Neal Bell captured the IBF title in a vacant fashion against Dale Brown. And now many people felt that, some people felt that he lost that fight because it ended in a very controversial fashion. I looked at it again. I felt that it was somewhat close, but then again, I did think Dale Brown won it, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Then after that, he made one successful title defense against Sebastian Rothman. Okay, he KO'd him, KO'd him late in the fight. Now, on the other hand, Jean-Marc Mormeck became the WBA champion, cruiserweight champion, by beating, I think it was it also Dale Brown that they beat? No, let me check. I just want to make sure that who else did he beat? He beat, to capture the WBA title was, I'm going to look at it here. He beat Virgil Hill. Oh, okay, Hall of Famer. He made Virgil Hill retire in his corner. What's very rarity of Virgil Hill to ever, retire in the fight. But he beat him for the WBA title to take it from him. He made 3 successful title defenses, along with the rematch with Hill. And then after that, he got into unification. Well, not exactly a unification bout. He defended his WBA title against Wayne Braithwaite, and also on the line on that was a vacant WBC and the Ring Magazine titles. And Mormeck won those 2 titles, and then after that, he got into an immediate unification bout with O'Neal Bell. Okay, and O'Neal Bell only made 1 successful title defense, and then he got into an immediate unification bout with Mormeck. All right, now this fight right here was a damn good fight. Okay, it was a lot of back and forth, and what amazes me is that both men had good chins. Okay, now particularly O'Neal Bell, because in this particular fight he took some bombs from Mormeck. I mean, Mormeck was laying some nuclear laying the nuclear heat on this dude, and I'm surprised he was able to withstand that, man. And I thought that, it was like, what, first fourth, maybe the fourth, fifth round, I thought O'Neal Bell was gonna go, man, because Warmick was trapping him in the corners. He was cutting off the ring very well. He was, laying it on. He was laying on him. But the one thing I would say though is that O'Neal Bell, though, in this fight, yeah, he had a little bit of lack of regard for defense in it, even though he trusted his chin, but he was able to parry off some of those punches too, and he was able to counter Warmick effectively, and in some parts of this fight, he was clowning around a little bit. He was, clowning Bell. I mean, sorry, clowning Mormick. And the thing about it is that I had, Mormick winning the fight, before he got stopped, which was in the 10th round. And the reason why, Mormick well, he got KO'd. Yeah, the reason why I felt that he, lost the fight because of the fact that he was exhausted. He was, expending too much energy trying to knock out O'Neal Bell, and that's something his corner should have told him to. Is like, dude, fighting Spurs, don't be burning your energy trying to knock him out. I mean, yeah, Mormick is French. I don't know if that's what his corner told him. I think that's what they told him, but from my recollection, they didn't tell him that. But O'Neal Bell, was able to withstand the punishment he was taking from Mormick. He was able to get him out of there, pretty much waited for him to gas out, and that's exactly what happened. Because Mormick, though he didn't fight in spurts in this particular fight, he never really fought in spurts in many of his fights. He's always had stamina issues. So I guess that's what O'Neal Bell's strategy was going into this fight, is wait for him to burn his energy out, then take him out when the time was right. And so he took him out, and he captured the Undisputed title. He captured the WBA, WBC, the Lineal, and the Ring Magazine title. All right, and this is O'Neal Bell who did it after one successful defense with the IBF title. One successful defense. He got an immediate unification bout with Marc Mormeck. The same thing with Mormeck to some degree, because Mormeck, when he captured the other belt, the WBC and the Ring Magazine, he got into immediate unification with O'Neal Bell. So to say that we're naive about wanting a unification bout right then and then, it's naive to think that way, because it's not really been done before. Yes, it's been done before. Why do you think we're calling for it? In fact, I'm reflecting to the Ndongo and Crawford situation. Now, again, those of you who don't know, Crawford and Ndongo were in negotiation for a few months. After Ndongo won the IBF title, they have been in talks with Terence Crawford and his team about getting a unification bout before he won the WBA title. Before he did. So they both expressed interest that they want to fight each other now. So why not? Why not do it now? Because they want it now. So we as fans like myself can appreciate that. These are two guys who are the top two guys in the division who's willing to fight each other, and they want to do it right away. Now, if there's some agreement where they take one voluntary defense where Ndongo does defend his title against Sergey Lipinets, so be it. And same thing with Terence Crawford. But I haven't seen any signs of that. They both want to fight right now. So why should we argue that? Why not commend those two guys for doing that? So it is what it is, okay? Now, again, there's another video I'm going to do on this, on the Undisputed series, because there's another fight that happened where two guys actually got to immediate unification with the Undisputed title. And this particular fight happened 3 years prior to the O'Neal Bell and Marc Mormeck fight. And conveniently, Don King headlined that card. I mean, he's the one who promoted that card. But I'll get to that fight in another video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Should I continue to do these series, the Undisputed series? Whatnot. And if you're not too familiar with the O'Neal Bell and the Marc Mormeck fight, I suggest you go ahead and take a look at that fight and tell me what do you think about it, because that was a damn good cruiserweight fight. One of the best I've seen. Now, at the aftermath, let me talk about that before I close out this video. Now, O'Neal Bell was scheduled to make a mandatory defense of the IBF against Steve Cunningham, but he pulled out of the fight due to a tooth injury. That's what he says. So the IBF stripped him due to the fact that he couldn't fulfill that obligation due to an injury. But he was inactive for 11 months. Then he rematched with Mormeck for the other titles, and that was a pretty funny fight. But Mormeck pulled it through whatnot. So hats off to him. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm out. Peace.